This is Positive Moments with Jean Walters Lucy, personal growth consultant, teacher, author, and lecturer.
This is Jean Walters Lucy. Our topic today is bricklayers. Do you remember the story of the three bricklayers? When asked, "What are you doing?" one bricklayer said, "I'm earning a living." The next one said, "I'm laying brick." And the third said, "I am building a great cathedral." The last bricklayer brought great pride, joy, and appreciation to his work, and he went home fulfilled. Which attitude do you display? Once I met a tire salesman who, when he was approached for tires, enthusiastically responded with, "Yes, I can help you." He greeted each customer with a smile, and he demonstrated eagerness and willingness to help. He judged his work important because he was helping people. His customers were served with good tires, first of all, and positive energy, and everyone went home happy. He, because he gave 100%, and they, because they were made to feel special. We all have it within us to do the same. You can build a great monument, or you can work for a paycheck. The rewards are drastically different. You are the one who gets to decide which it will be. In our fear-based society, we've been taught to work for money. But psychologists have proven that most people, money is not the prime motivator. Most are inspired by recognition. Even the simplest acknowledgement you give another can have dynamic impact and literally turn a negative situation or relationship into a positive one. Take an ordinary service, product, or activity. Add positive energy, and it becomes magnetic and irresistible. With a positive attitude, your job becomes fun, and the likelihood of getting a raise or promotion is elevated, along with your energy level. What activity, event, or work are you performing? Approach it with openness and appreciation. Consider it an opportunity to express creativity and love, and then step back and notice the difference. First, did you enjoy it more? Did others? Which approach gave you the most satisfaction? Are you building a cathedral or just putting in your time? This is Jean Walters Lucy, personal growth consultant, teacher, author, and lecturer. If you have comments or questions about this positive attitude or any personal growth subject like universal law, dream interpretation, intuition, self-esteem, or empowerment, email me from my website at www.spiritualtransformation.com or call me at 314-991-8439.
You know, Jean, you get out of something what you put into it, don't you?
Exactly. And a lot of people just show up every day and put in some hours, and they walk away not very fulfilled.
There are certain kinds of people that have the mindset that I've run across that they will tell you about how good they are at skating on the job. You know, they'll say, I we were doing this, and I managed to go back here and sit in the shack and doze for a half an hour. And they'll talk about how they hated their jobs, and yet they don't realize they spend all their time avoiding their work, and they don't put anything into it, and so they don't get any pleasure out of it, and then they wonder why they don't like their jobs.
It's kind of like the idea that you have to make a living, that it's some perilous, horrible, burdensome thing. And when you approach life that way, your whole life is burdensome and perilous and horrible. It's just not fun at all. And yet we have the capacity, everyone does, within ourselves, just simply switch it. We can look at any task. There's a great story about a guy who went into the monastery, and the head monk there was saying, well, now everybody has to do a job here and participate in the running of the monastery. And the fellow said, well, I'm really great at music. So I'll just I'll make music. That's what I'm really good at that. And the monk said, oh, no. We've decided that your work is to wash dishes. And so, I hate washing dishes. My mother always made me wash the dishes. I hate washing dishes. Well, that's your job. You're going to wash dishes. So anyway, so he's washing dishes and he leaves the soap on the dishes and everybody's getting sick and the dishes aren't getting clean and he's just hating it and slapping them down and breaking dishes and he's having a horrible time. And he just, kept at month after month. He's washing these dishes. Nobody gives him a reprieve. And finally he thought, well, you know what? I'm washing dishes. I'm going to enjoy washing dishes. So he begins to wash the dishes and take a little pride in getting them clean and shiny, and the dishes are coming out really well, and everybody's healthy. And he's really into a role. About a month later, the head guy comes in again and says, all right, we've decided your work is making music. And I love that story because when we turn ourselves around and we start making peace with where we are and appreciate it for what it is, the value that it brings to everyone, that's when we can move on in life. It's true for everyone.
Yeah, I can give you an example from my own life. In the radio business, we make commercials. It's a thing called production. After we do our radio show, which for most people is the fun part, we talk to people and play music and whatever we do on the radio. One of the other things we do is we make the commercials that run on the station. And this usually happens after you do your show. And very frequently, maybe you want to go home or you're tired, or very frequently, too, the commercial might be poorly written or something like that. And you have a choice. You can sit down and grab the first piece of music to play underneath it. We call it the bed. And you can just read through it real quick and get it done and get out. And or you can take a little bit of time to maybe straighten out a line here or there, or find just that right piece of music and take a spot which might have been very ordinary and elevate it a notch or two and make it really work well. And when you hear that spot later on the radio, I'd be driving in a car and maybe you made it last week or something and you hear it and it's really good and you hear your work and you say, great.
Whoa.
And you're really glad, as opposed to when you hear something that maybe you did, a poor job on, and then you hear hear it and you don't get any satisfaction and it disappoints you and
you feel bad.
Yeah, and so it's like you were saying, you want to take something, any job worth doing is worth doing well, and you want to, if you invest time and care, that's what you'll get back. You put some value into what you're doing, and you will feel valued.
And there's a little thing that one of my clients taught me, and she said that every night when her family gathered at home for dinner, they went around the table, and everyone stated something good that happened that day, something they learned or something positive that happened. But her question to each one was, well, all right, what happened today that was wonderful? And they couldn't even start dinner until everyone had presented the thing that day that was great for them. And I just love that idea because normally people get together, oh, wait till I tell you about my day. It was just, oh boy, it was a bummer. And what you do is you just keep that energy of negativity and just, negative low energy all the time. And whereas she's almost like forcing them to look at life in a different way. But the dinner conversation was more elevated and they were having more fun. So I just thought it was a great idea. I would love to see everybody adopt that.
Well, Jean, let's take that to another step. And you are an employer, or you are a boss, or you are a teacher. You're a person in a position of authority. How can you use those concepts to encourage your employees and make them feel appreciated?
Well, I think, first of all, you have to do it. You have to look at each person and you have to see the value in them. Many times we were so focused on what's wrong with us and what's just not right and what we can't do that we forget that we do have multitude of talents and abilities. So perhaps the employer has to say, now, I know that you are just super at organizing things, and I would love to see you organizing this office in a way that just made it so productive and efficient. Can you do that? And wouldn't you be more inspired to do that than if he said, well, here's the office, I want you to organize it. But if somebody could look at you and go, I see that you have a wonderful ability to understand people and to help people, and then you took that and, because you're inspired by their positive approach to you and you want to take that a little bit further, then you just remember that as you're working with people and you're thinking, oh, I'm good at inspiring people, I'm good at helping people. And so when you're on a sales call, you take that with you, or when you're dealing with your family, you take that with you, and then everybody is operating from a higher level. So I think that it's really important as an employer to be able to see that in your employees. I think it's going to change the quality of your business if you do that.
And I think any employee and any person, they want to know that what they're doing is accomplishing something or doing some good. And when a boss or somebody in authority just even says, I appreciate the work you're doing and I know what you're doing,
Wow.
It makes you feel like $1 million.
Walking on water.
Yeah.
It's true. And also with your children, the same thing, because oftentimes we'll go, oh, don't do that. Watch out for that. Be careful now. Didn't do that right. You better do it over again. And maybe we need to stop sometimes and go, oh, gosh, you're such a great artist. Oh, I love the way you handled that situation. Look at the way you organized your homework. Or, wow, you write neat. Or, gosh, you have a great mind for math. That would be wonderful. I mean, can you just see how just the kid's head pops up and their back gets straighter? And we forget sometimes to do that because we get so busy. Run here. Did you get your homework done? Did you eat dinner? Hurry, hurry. Go do more. Run, faster, faster. And we forget. It's like smelling the roses.
Indeed. And just your attitude as you approach something, I guess, Gene, like oh, this is a job of work I got to do.
I hate that. The have to, you should. Anytime we're working from a should basis, we're working by somebody else's rules. We need to turn that should around. I had another client, by the way, my storytelling show, I guess, and she said, well, I'm going to go home now and I'm going to, clean the kitchen cabinets. I'm going to put some new paper in there and clean them up. I said, really? I said, well, that just sounds horrible. And she said, yeah. And I said, well, you know what? Is it the cabinets that are making it horrible, or is it the kitchen, or is it the dishes in there, or what is it that's making it horrible? And she said, well, none of that. I went, oh, is it you that's making it horrible? And I said, what about this? What about looking at it from a different angle? What about turning on some music, making yourself a glass of iced tea or some coffee or something, and then maybe dance around the kitchen a little bit, and then clean those cabinets out and love the way they look. Oh, don't they look sparkly and clean? And they smell good too. And start enjoying. And wow, did you see the way I cleaned the kitchen cabinets? Are they something or what? Pat yourself on the back a little bit. Have some fun with it.
Yeah, so often we dread a job, and then we finally get around to doing it. And especially if we do a good job, once it's done, you're so happy. And you can look at like your cabinets or your dishes or your clean house or whatever it is that you did, and like I mentioned when I would hear my good commercial on the radio, at that point you never regretted the time you spent doing it, and
it felt wonderful.
Yes.
I had another gal who told me, she said, whenever I succeed at something or whenever I accomplish something or have an awareness, I can't tell anybody because they go, oh, and they don't get excited with me. And I said, you know what? Come to me. I'm guaranteeing you right now that anytime you accomplish something or come to awareness, I am going to be your cheerleader, and I'm going to be so excited for you. And so we had this little agreement, and she would do that, and then I would do that with her too, and it was fun because we knew that there was somebody that was going to be in our corner going, well, that's fabulous. What a gift.
Well, Gene Walters, Lucy, this show is a gift, and we will all come to you again next time on most of the same radio station for another Positive Moments. Thanks, Gene.
Thanks.
This has been Positive Moments with Gene Walters Lucy, personal growth consultant, teacher, author, and lecturer. If you have comments or questions on any personal growth subject like universal law, dream interpretation, intuition, self-esteem, or self-empowerment, you can reach Jean at her website, www.spiritualtransformation.com, or call 314-991-8439 and leave a message. 314-991-8439. I'm Richard Miller, and we'll see you for your next Positive Moment.